What's up guys, welcome to Munchkins Gaming, where we take your gaming to the next level. This is Munchkins logging in to bring you another Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia video. And welcome back to another versus slash story time video. And the fight we are taking a look today is going to be Strago's Event Chaos Challenge Quest. So yeah, as you guys can see, this is the team that I went with, Kefka, and of course I've got Strago as well. I managed to get all his stuff, and Realm, which we'll talk about in story time as well. So I pretty much cleared this beforehand without Realm. I did the usual Strago, Kefka, and the Emperor team, which honestly it kind of felt the same strategy as with the Emperor's Lost Chapter, where you do have to manage their debuffs. The more important debuffs for Kefka is of course his blind and his HP silence. So basically you're trying to make sure that the Emperor will get all his 3 traps in there. And Strago doesn't really apply any debuffs, so he's more of just like damage dealing character. And I managed to beat it with that. I managed to perfected it, but then later on I decided to bring Realm along. And for the most part, she just made this fight a lot quicker. That's it. You don't particularly need her. She just makes things a lot quicker. I think my first try around with the Emperor, I think it took around 15 to 16 minutes for the entire fight, whereas this one took about 11 minutes and 30 odd seconds, something along those lines. So at the moment I'm recording, I don't know if I'm actually going to speed this up or not, but that is how Realm changed the game. Basically she just made it so much faster with her Brave Battery, with both her abilities, and of course her EX is pretty strong as well. So overall, this fight can be a little bit tricky if you don't have Strago's LD, because Strago's is able to re-break the enemy bosses, and basically they have this move where they will have a lot of resistance, and basically resistance to magic based attacks, as well as having absorb on melee and range DPS, and a whole lot of absorb on or resistance to different elements as well. So you have that going in this challenge quest, and unfortunately there's really no one that can imperil in the boosted team. So you're really stuck with basically trying to break them so they don't actually kill you. This happens in both bipedal mode and in the I guess 4-legged mode as well. So I think with the 4-legged mode is where they have all those resistances. When they're bipedal, they have this huge amount of brave, and they have insane defense, and the only way that I managed to break that is with Kefka's EX ability, and of course with Strago as well. When I was running with the Emperor unfortunately didn't really do as much brave shaving as I thought. So in the end, it went up. It was up to Kefka and Strago to do those breaks, and I guess if you can time Kefka's EX ability, you're sure to break that. And Strago of course can re-break as well, so that is very, very useful. Otherwise, I didn't really think there was anything else for me to talk about regarding the fight itself. If you do get Strago's LD, this fight just makes it so much easier for you to break the enemy, because it is a guaranteed break. So if you don't have him, then if you have Kefka, he should be enough in terms of damage dealing to break. And of course the HP silence helps anyway if you don't end up breaking the enemy bosses. So that is it for the fight itself. Let's talk about some story time. So story time for this time around is going to be another sad story. If you guys have seen my poll video, I went with 50 tickets, but in reality after a little while, I used up all my tickets and did not get Realms EX, and then used up all my gems, still did not get Realms EX. I went a little bit questing, that's what we're gonna call it, and I still didn't get it. So I ended up having to pity Realms EX, which is very, very sad for me. But you know, that's the name of the game, right? The gachas, you just can't tell where your luck is gonna be. The funny thing is, like, with this particular banner, I kept getting Strago's LD and his EX. I had so much of his EX dupes that, you know, I could max limit break and have extras. With the LD was the same. I managed to actually have enough to max limit break it. So yeah, I just had so much LD, whereas, you know, with Kefka I struggled to get his LD weapon. So I don't know, I was actually hoping I had enough to actually just grab Realms EX and get out of that banner and end up going to back to the Emperor's banner and try to get his LD that way. But turns out it didn't work out that way, so unfortunately that's the way it is. And I do apologize if you guys hear some banging on the door, and that's because our little robo vacuum cleaner, it keeps hitting the door, and I can't really do anything about it at this point. I closed the door on it. So anyway, that is my story time. It's a pretty sad story, but unfortunately, you know, that's the way the cookie crumbles, I guess. So don't expect any pull videos for the next couple of events, which includes the Warrior of Light's LD. I'll probably just use the free pull if we still have some free pulls. I believe it still falls in that, hopefully. If not, then oh well. That's all I can say. And yeah, just the next one that I'm really gonna be pulling for is probably Kurosame and probably Gladio as well. So those two are the ones that I'm really looking out for. And excuse me, and then I guess it will be Lightning's burst weapon. I'm not particularly you know, in need of Warrior of Light's burst weapon. If I can get his LD with the free multi, if we still have some free multi by then, I would be happy with that. Kuja, I mean, I guess nah, I really want to save my my resources for both Kurosame and the Gladio, because I don't want to go questing, because I try to save my, you know, the income I get from YouTube and spend it on food instead. Like I usually get around 100 Aussie dollars for, you know, for all this, right? And I usually just end up, you know, buying food for that for me, my wife, especially in these times where things are a little bit rough when it comes to what do you call this? I guess just daily living expenses. The times where we have now, I try to save them, and I haven't spent a lot on games in the past 6 months, really. So I guess I spent some on Exo's Heroes once. But yeah, I go on like droughts for like months where I don't buy anything, and the money just ends up going into like food and our expenses here, which really helps. So I would like to thank you guys for all the support, because, you know, you just watching the video and watching the ads in YouTube really does help in these times, even though it's just like cents for each ads. It does help. It all accumulates and it all adds up, and you know, I can make content with that as well. I use the money, I just reinvest it on the games that I, you know, make videos of. So Exo's Heroes pretty much is a reinvestment. So if I end up buying something there, I pretty much just reinvested that money and hopefully I can get more content out for you guys, and then, you know, it just repeats the process. I'm not to the point where I am earning a lot of money that I can actually go and do this full time. So that's just the way it is at the moment, and I really do appreciate it. I appreciate everything you guys do for this channel, and I'm lucky to have you guys continue watching and continue to support this channel. But anyway, that is it for this video, guys. Please do remember to click that like button if you did enjoy the video, and of course subscribe if you haven't already. And you can always follow me on Facebook or Twitter at Munchkins Gaming, and leave down in the comments below which team you use for this one, because there's really not much to choose from. Let me know down anyway, and let me know what kind of strategies did you pull out on this one. Anyway, that's it for this video. This is Munchkins logging off. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next level.